Okay, so in this tutorial, we're going to set up the relationship between the pet and the owner's table. And this is kind of a really important skill which we'll develop later in the year. But today we're just going to have a look at the actual skill of setting that up. Um, so if you remember, we've got the owner's table, the pet's table. We've already discussed that there's a relationship between the two, and that we need to move the owner ID, the primary key, from the owner table. We need to have a copy of that field in the pets table so that the two can be linked together. So let's have a go at doing that then. So the first thing I need to do is obviously update my pets table. So to do that, back to the home tab and into design view, and I'm just going to add a new field in here. I'm going to call it exactly the same as the primary key in the owner table, so owner ID. But one important thing I'm going to do here is not set it as auto number, because if I set it as auto number, then Access will randomly generate that number for me for that particular pet, and I want to be able to assign a specific owner ID to a specific pet once that owner has acquired that pet. So I'm not going to choose auto number. What I'm going to choose is number, so it must be number for it to match up correctly with the owner ID primary key in the owner table. So number there. I'm just going to cross that and save it off. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do then is just going to update my pets form, because I've now got a new field on that form which needs to be displayed. So if I open up my pets form, you see I've got nowhere on here to be able to assign an owner to this pet. So to do that again, I need to just redesign this. So I'm going to design view. If you remember, this option up here is a good one for refreshing your form without having to start it from scratch again. And I'm just going to add an existing field, and you can now see in that field owner ID has appeared. So I'm just going to drag that on to onto my pet form here. Okay, just move that button out of the way at the bottom there. Okay, so that's updated, and if I just flick that into form view, okay, you can see I've got a space now in my form to enter an owner ID. So for example, if I wanted to assign owner number 1 to Tom, I'll just bash a 1 into there and move on. Okay, but there's one final thing I need to do to get the owner IDs linked to each other. So at the moment they're just two fields in two separate tables. We need to set up a relationship between the two so that Access is aware that there is a link there. Okay, so when I put owner ID number 2 onto a pet, it knows that that owner ID number 2 is whoever is that owner in my owners table. If I cross this off here, there's an option at the top under database tools for relationships. You can see on mine it's put both tables on in my database, and it's asking me to show what the relationship is between these two tables. If you can't see your tables, just use that show table option up there to find them. Now I've said the relationship is between owner ID in my owners table, my primary key, to owner ID that I've just created in the pets table. So I'm just going to create that relationship and put that in there, and you can see that this line showing the relationship is set up will appear. So if I close that down now, that is the relationship set up. Now I just need to assign my pets to some owners, so I can do that in two ways. So I can do that via my pets form. So let's have a look at my owner IDs. So my owner IDs, they all start at 18, 19, 20, etc. So let's just go back into there. So I'm going to start here, and let's say that pet number 2 is owned by owner ID number 18. Flick through 19, 20, but then let's say owner 18 owns another one again. Put that through. So I can work my way through the form and just add in an owner ID 19 and then 20 ID 21 owns pet there. Okay, I just need to cross that off for it to update and save. Just update and save that. If I just have a quick look at my pets table now, scroll right down to the end, you can see that each of my pets have owners. So the owner of Tom the dog is owner ID number 18, and if I go and have a look at the owners table, owner ID number 18 is me. And you can also see now that these plus symbols have appeared here, and this is where the relationship is kicked in, because there's now a link between those two IDs. So if I click on that plus, you can see that the two pets that I own are linked to my name. Okay, which is going to be important later on when we start doing queries, the fact that Access can recognize it. Okay, so that's really where you need to get to by the end of this video. That is setting up a relationship. As I say, we'll look a bit more about how you do this in detail and later this year, because it's a very, very powerful feature of Access databases. Okay.